range of ideas you presented or fixes that you might incorporate. And one of the things, I'm assuming some of them are going to be more expensive, such as I'm thinking of, you know, retrofitting old school buildings or aging. I mean, that's going to be on the pricier end of things. How can a city like Norwalk pay for something like that?
Yes.
We're looking at this as anything that would come up between the BOE and the city as far as facilities are concerned, any plan changes. We want to be involved with the bidding process. We want to make sure we're getting all the available incentives, or we can go after grants. We want to. I'm involved currently with retrofitting City Hall, and we just want to be the go-to resource for the BOE in Norwalk, to be able to provide the cheapest possible way to get energy efficient. And to be the go-to resource, not an unwanted step in the process. That's our goal for the collaboration between the BOE and Norwalk as far as retrofitting to energy efficient lighting. So if anything needs to be done, a furnace, HVAC, we're going to be there during the bidding process to make sure that we're taking full advantage of all the available incentives and make sure we're getting the lowest rates on everything across the board.
I just wanted to add, some of the members of this task force are working with the state, such as Ms. O'Neill. She actually helps learn and helps both municipalities, schools, and citizens and companies find financing, find a way to put together a payment plan if that's necessary. There are many people here, including myself, that are aware of many grants. Now, the city of Norwalk has seized upon grants in the past, such as the electric car recharging stations. We want to have a more comprehensive view, because there are many, many grants and financing mechanisms that we have not taken advantage of. So we want to, using all of these wonderful people and the community, we want to find the best way to effectuate change and pay for that. I just also lastly wanted to say we recognize there is a system of government in Norwalk. There are committees, there are some boards, there are departments. So we are a resource to them, and we want to work with them together, give them some new ideas or help them with ideas as well. So we're, in that role, we're a resource to give ideas to some of the existing structure.
And each decision comes with a cost-benefit analysis. Obviously, you have to invest money in order to save money in this particular instance, but you do a cost-benefit analysis. I mean, it's not perhaps reasonable to suspect that we're going to retrofit all the school windows right away. But when there are renovations, that's what Councilman Kites was saying, we want to be there during that bidding process to make sure we take advantage of all the opportunities in order to improve energy efficiency.
Careful thought was put into the committee members, to the task force members. We wanted to cover all the fields, from a CPA to solar. We want to have those resources to tap into.
How much? I kind of look back into the board, at least the Board of Ed's, some of what's been budgeted and in the past and now, and then your recommended budget, Dr. Vera, on energy costs, and it seems to be still a little sort of even. So how much really can be saved, coming together on this kind of?
Well, and just in the transition to smarter lighting alone, if you move that, and you have estimates of 10 to 15%. Some of these are ballparks, but that's upwards of close to $250,000. I mean, every dollar saved is one you can spend elsewhere on instruction and teaching. So I think it's going to be a combination of different steps, from obviously bulk purchasing, as I mentioned, of electricity and natural gas, to lighting, to just other opportunities that we take advantage of as part of this process.
For instance, like I spoke before, we're retrofitting City Hall with energy efficient lighting. We are saving 60% on the wattage that is currently going to pay for lighting. So we're saving 60% of our lighting costs right off the bat just by retrofitting to energy efficient lighting. So there's a lot of financial benefit to it, where they're significant.
And then you think about that over time. I mean,
Yes.
this is not a one-time savings. These are savings that you build in going forward.
Right. It's paying itself off in 3 years. So.
It comes down to the most basic levels, again, all the way up to the most sophisticated. If every time your light bulb at home burned out, you replaced it with an energy efficient light bulb, you're saving money, and eventually your whole house will be, and you've made an investment of one light bulb at a time, God bless you. So it's not something that we anticipate having a severe burden on the taxpayers of the city of Norwalk. It's just taking advantage of opportunities when we can, how we can, and when the opportunity presents itself, and making recommendations, as Diane mentioned, being a resource to the other city departments, agencies, being a resource to the citizens who live here.
How often will you meet, and do you have, is there another town or city that's you're looking at as a model?
We're going to meet as often as necessary. They're going to form, and other towns. There's plenty. There's grant opportunities. There's other cities that are taking advantage of energy efficiencies. You learn from what they do.
As Mayor Rilling and John Heidi said, we're still in the process of forming, getting ready for our first task force meeting in about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. There are many other task forces similar to this in other towns. I've had the pleasure of knowing several of the chair people of those, and I go to annual meetings where everyone compares notes. So there's no real need for us to all keep reinventing the wheel. So there are many, for instance, in Wilton, there is a task force, and I know several of the people, and they've had some very interesting projects, and they've also had an environment fair. Fairfield started many initiatives. They were one of the first task forces to form in Connecticut several years ago. And so many of these people are resources to us, and we really do believe that this is going to be helpful in getting us started a little faster, but also getting some great resources. In addition to answering the last question, there is a need to look at, when we do building renovation or construction, to look at opportunities for the potential for passive solar to offset the need for electricity and lighting, to look and see whether we can get solar panels paid for. We've already earned several free solar panels just due to the public signing up for clean energy, but we cannot actually acquire them until we fulfill certain things that the state has set up, such as forming a task force, such as writing a municipal energy plan. These are things that other towns have done, and again, I'm so pleased that Mayor Rilling is interested in this and very much wants to get started.
Any other questions? Well, we do thank you.
I have one
for
follow-up. I don't need to.
Okay.
You don't need to hog the meeting here, but is it just that in the past? Because I'm sure all the department heads have done their due diligence and tried to come up with the leanest budget.